Hey everyone, it's LaDon. Hope you're doing well. I have two tutorials for you today in this video, so you're getting two for the price of one. um, I made a tutorial just on a really healthy breakfast I made today, and that has everything to do with this health and wellness kind of the physical kind of transformation I'm embarking on that will begin today, and that has everything to do with my diet and just exercise, taking care of my body. And then also, I'm going to show you a tutorial and a recipe for making an ACV treatment. This is an awesome, awesome treatment. Now, I use ACV treatments every so often. In the winter, I usually do them like every 6 months. In the summer, I do them more often because my hair just seems to need them more often. You should always listen to your hair. But this is an ACV treatment that is not as traditional as some of the others you've probably seen. This is apple cider vinegar that has been infused with rosemary. Okay, and I'll talk about later on in the video the many benefits of using this type of ACV treatment. But that's what you're going to see in the video. I'll come back at the end just to kind of chit chat if necessary once you've seen the tutorials, and we'll kind of go from there. So I hope you enjoy these tutorials, and let's get to it. This is day one of my fast, and what I'm doing here is showing you how I make a pretty healthy breakfast. I use a cup to house my stuff because it helps me to better manage my portions for breakfast. Otherwise, I'll do like a big, huge bowl, and I don't want to do that because some of it goes to waste. So what I'm making here is an oatmeal, and it's a variation on oatmeal. I love oatmeal. I know a lot of people, or some people don't, but I have loved oatmeal since I was really, really little. So this is a great breakfast for me, and it's healthy. So I add water and then my oats, and then I add a little bit of honey. Normally I use an organic honey from a local distributor here, but I ran out of it, so I'm just using some that I picked up from Trader Joe's yesterday. And I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes after adding some of these flax seeds. So, you can use flax seeds to make gel, which I do, but I also buy roasted flax seeds because I love the flavor, and they have these, the omega-3s in them, so they're really, really good for your body, and another way to add extra nutrients to your hair through your diet. So I'm going to set this to the side. Next, I'm going to show you how I make my rosemary infused apple cider vinegar. So I start out with a plastic container. You can buy these at Michael's. And I'm going to have unfiltered apple cider vinegar. It's unfiltered organic apple cider vinegar. And then also my, my rosemary herbs from my window garden, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later. So I'm going to shake up the bottle of apple cider vinegar and pour it into my container, and I'm going to fill it pretty much to the top. Once I've done that, I'm going to clip a few sprigs from my rosemary plant. And I'm going to use 2 or 3 sprigs that are about 2.5 to 3 inches long. Now that's quite a bit for this size container. The reason I'm using so much rosemary for this is because I don't put a lot of apple cider vinegar in my ACV rinses. So I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. But you're going to shed the leaves from the sprigs so that you can take them and then infuse them in your apple cider vinegar. An easy way to remove the sprigs or the leaves from the sprigs themselves is to, let's see, the easiest way to say this is once you clip the sprig, the side of the sprig you've clipped, I'm pointing to it now, point that away from you, then hold the end closest to you, and then slide your finger along the sprig, and you'll see that the leaves just come off really easily and naturally. See how easy that came off? And then you can just pull the remaining sprigs off. Then you're going to take them and you're going to crush them either in the palms of your hands. You could also, crush them just a little bit using, your fingers. You just want to break them up, the leaves up a bit, so that you're able to release the oil, and you'll actually be able to smell the oil. Um, Wonderful, wonderful smell. So you're going to take them and then add them to the ACV, the apple cider vinegar. The rosemary is awesome because it is very effective in treating dry scalp and treating dandruff. And it also helps to stimulate your hair follicles. So it also helps with hair growth. So rosemary is a great herb to have. I love it for cooking, but it has multi-purposes. So it's really great for hair care as well. If you don't have fresh herbs, like you're seeing in this video, you can also use dry herbs. So you're going to make sure you crush them, and then you're going to put them in your container. Then you're going to I use a wooden, it's actually a cuticle stick. You can get them from your local beauty supply store. I use them when mixing all of my products together because it's wooden and it's just easy to manipulate whatever it is I'm making by using those. So I'm just going to stir those. You're going to put the cap on, and then you're set. Okay, so the last step of this rosemary infused apple cider vinegar treatment is to let it sit for 2 weeks. You're going to let it sit so that it can ferment and the oils from the rosemary will be completely infused into the ACV treatment. So when you use it on your hair, you'll get the benefit of both the rosemary and the ACV treatment, or the apple cider vinegar. If you are looking for a recipe that will allow you to use this treatment much faster, then what you could do is put your rosemary in a pan, pour your ACV over it, apple cider vinegar over it, and then heat it for a couple of minutes. And then take it and put it in a container, let it cool, and then use it. I like to simply let it sit for 2 weeks because when you heat anything, you lose some of the nutritional value in it. For most things, you lose part of the nutritional value of it. So I just like to go ahead and let it sit. I only use ACV treatments probably in the wintertime. My hair only seems to need it maybe every 6 weeks or so. I use it a little more often in the summertime. But to me, it's worth the wait because if I've taken the time to make this, I want to reap all of the wonderful benefits of the rosemary and the ACV. So, just let it sit and you can use it from there. Now, this container would last me quite a few apple cider vinegar treatments because I dilute my apple cider vinegar with water. So I will take probably a capful of this or a tablespoon of it, and I'll add it to 6 ounces of water, and that's enough of an ACV treatment for me. The reason I use so many rosemary leaves for this size container is precisely because I only use a tablespoon of it in my ACV treatment. Many times folks are hesitant to use ACV treatments because they say, it dries their hair out and that kind of stuff. And really, that's usually a result of having used too much. So you want to find the right balance of it for your hair. For me, again, a tablespoon or at most 2 tablespoons to 6 ounces of water is absolutely perfect. So again, this will last me a long time. So after it has fermented, once I open it, I then take it and put it in the refrigerator, and that's where I will store it for spiritual well-being. I do a Daniel's fast, and so I am on day one of this fast, and it's actually a modified Daniel's fast. But I am incorporating into this breakfast not only oats, but I incorporated um, flaxseed, flaxseed, which I also use in my flaxseed gel, and honey. And I also incorporated, which I didn't show you in the video, blueberries and strawberries. So that's really a very, very healthy kind of, breakfast. But this lifestyle change was just much needed. I just feel like, I need to take better care of my body, of course, and just wanting to get back to being more mindful of what I consume. Not only what I put on my body, but what I put in my body. So it's really interesting to see the impact that additives, preservatives, certain types of caffeines, and all of the stuff that's in our food that isn't natural. Just seeing how your body responds when you don't have those things in your system. I sleep much better. I actually require fewer hours of sleep, and the sleep I have is more restful. Like I feel completely rested, and when I wake up, I'm not sluggish. I'm like ready to go. So that's how I should feel all the time. That's how I want to feel all the time. So I am on day one. I may do a video just to show you kind of what I'm doing for dinner tonight or what I'm doing for lunch. For lunch, I'm going to have a vegetable wrap, vegetable and hummus wrap. So I'll just tell you what I'm going to have for lunch. And for dinner, I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see. All right, so I hope this video was helpful. Leave me a comment, subscribe, share with other people if you think they'd be interested in this ACV recipe. And I will see you tomorrow. I actually have another recipe I recorded for you, and this is for an oil. This is awesome. It is a coconut, peppermint, and rosemary oil. So I'll show you how to make this in the coming days. I've already recorded the video. I just need to edit it. All right. Oh, and I do have, I am Virgo. I think I don't have my account open right now, but I saw your little comment about, sure would be nice to see that daily moisturizer tutorial. And so I promise you it is coming. I have just a little bit left of my previous batch, and what I want to do is make a whole new, batch. So I'm trying to use that up and then show you guys from start to finish how I make that daily moisturizer. So it will be coming soon because I don't imagine it'll take me very long to finish using that up. But I hear you, okay? All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye bye.